Hello there. So for anyone who noticed it being, uh, anyone who noticed it being scheduled for 3:45, just YouTube putting in the time where I was trying to get this started. But yeah, it took me a while to figure out what was going on because I thought it might be the inbuilt camcorder on the one of my laptops. The other one I have a separate webcam, but it doesn't really work as well as this one for live streaming or live talking. So headphones are only on in case I need to hear any audio. So I suppose I can take them off for a bit. Um, so hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to this 10th anniversary live stream for Earth Agents. We are celebrating 10 years today since the very first episode, The Lone Agent, got released on YouTube. Well, re-released, because technically I did upload it on the 21st of May 2015, my sister's birthday. She was 13 that day. But I re-uploaded it just under a month later on the 18th of October. I thought it was the 19th, but recent checks, it was actually the 18th. So a few kind of minor edits, and also to cut off 2 minutes of nothing at the end because it was originally an hour and a half in the rendering process. So we got to an hour and a half for that, but for the actual thing, it was only an hour and 28. So cut off the last 2 minutes as well. So yeah. So yeah, celebration time. Happy 10th anniversary, Earth Agents. And I've brought a bottle of Heineken at the shop I work at yesterday. So just going to move some stuff so that it is less messy. So this is my Guinness glass. I just chose a glass. And I got my Guinness toucan bottle opener as well. I've got someone, I can't read that name, saying hello, but hello to you as well. So I'm going to open this with my toucan bottle opener. Actually, couldn't find this for a while, but I found it earlier, thankfully, when looking for a bottle opener. So here we go. Cheers. And I'm also going to coffee off screen as well. So in case the alcohol wears me down. Fairly big bottle. Whether I'll drink all of this on stream or if I have some of it afterwards. Okay, so that's about just under half a bottle. I'll save for later. Okay. Cheers. Good stuff. Might give it a bit of a top up in a bit. So yeah, a bit like James Bond in Skyfall. So yeah, 10th anniversary of Earth Agents. I can put the other stuff back now. So yeah, also earlier today, I also received, before I get started, also received the, speak of James Bond, Hook in the Eye paperback by Raymond Benson, former James Bond continuation novelist, who's now written a Felix Leiter spin-off. It was released digitally across part of the year and now has been paperback, although it's only exclusive to his website and Ian Fleming Publications website, though maybe in the future it'll come into charity shops and on eBay as well. And also, ahead of shops selling it, Doctor Who, the collection season 13 Blu-ray box set. I haven't opened the plastic. I'm going to do that later. But yeah, that's arrived a bit earlier than scheduled from HMV for that one. Some people have said that they get some of their Doctor Who Blu-rays and DVDs maybe the Friday or Saturday before it comes out on the Monday. This is a case where I managed to get one on the Saturday, or it arrived on the Saturday, rather than it coming on Monday, which is release day, or maybe a few days after. Also, apologies if I may burp. Um, had lunch not too long ago, and beer. Got beer just down there. Okay, so just over 5 minutes in through the introduction. So let's talk Earth Agents 10th anniversary. So first of all, as I may have talked about in a video I did 2 years ago about celebrating 10 years since episode one and went into production. Um, so that one, Lone Agent, started off because when I started doing GCSE film studies in year nine at my secondary school, there was apparently a film club. Actually, it was year 10. I was doing this years 10 and 11. So actually, it was year 10 where I found out about sort of an after school filmmaking sort of club. Well, sort of, kind of like. But I started doing my own kind of um, I would say homemade, school-made film after school, inspired by the Doctor Who slash Torchwood fan film series Time Agent, which ran from 2008 to 12, and also then came back for 2019-20 and 2022 to 23. The pandemic probably got in the way of that third episode of series 4 being delayed so much after so much other delaying. And then series 5 is on its way. Might be this year, might be next year. See what happens. But yeah, but in terms of the original inspiration, it was inspired by Time Agent series 1 to 3. So I kind of took that as my kind of basis, sort of doing my own kind of um, Time Agent-esque series called Earth Agents, which is ironic because Time Agent, whilst it's an ensemble cast mostly, Earth Agents initially started off as just a singular lead character, and then more characters would come in as the series would go along. Um, then, yeah, so and also more plots. So the series originally, because it was very Doctor Who inspired, there was a lot of kind of Doctor Who connections. It was more or less the start of the fan Doctor Who universe that I've also sort of created my own kind of fan one, the Ultimate Universe, Doctor Who, the Ultimate Universe. That's my own one. Sort of has also crossed over with Pope's Eyes on Productions as well, and will continue to. There's a bit of a kind of a slight crossover between the two. I've been involved with them. Time Agent was also initially planned to have a bit of a crossover as well in the 12th episode, but that didn't happen. But yeah, well, maybe another time. Maybe in a more structured story. Anyway, so yeah, episode 1 went into production as an after school film. Just putting some marks off the laptop there. September 2013, and I think I was filming up to at least January 2014 before starting the editing process. I did not write a script. It was completely in my. It wasn't even a full length. I hadn't even got the story. I was just. This is an embarrassing part of the film. Is it's basically just me running around or walking around doing feck all. Well, maybe some Dalek stuff or some hench people stuff going on as well, and it didn't really have a proper story initially. It was just kind of me just investigating. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a bit awkward when looking back on that first 30 to 60 minutes of the film, especially the first quarter of an hour, where there is some when in terms of the final cut of the and the slightly additional edit. But on those original 2015 cuts, it really was quite awkward seeing just after a bit of a story kind of laid down and a bit of a start, and then it just kind of meanders. It's just me walking or running around the school, investigating, dodging Daleks and other baddies, blowing stuff up, um, doing some stunts, some action scenes, and kind of getting away with some stuff that on school grounds that I only would be able to do because it is for a film, I suppose. But yeah, until a plot actually started to form or some other kind of, most of it was improvised, and once some of those improv elements started to form a proper narrative, proper plot, things started to take place a bit better. January 2014 is when it started to be edited, and then over up until May 2015 for filming, June for editing, same year. Apart from August 2014 for summer holidays. Um, but September 13 to June 15, apart from August 14, uh, production or post production would see this kind of film come together. And I do have it's in my cupboard at the moment. I do have a DVD copy of the very original final cut of the film burned onto a disc, uh, as well as the digital version, which I don't have that original version anymore, but I did make slight edit um, after the 2050 September 2015 upload to YouTube. I did make some slight edits. For some reason, I wanted to put the Universal logo at the front, and then also on the October re-upload that year, I did the BBC Films one. Not something I would do now because they wouldn't be involved in this. That was sort of like kind of a for fun things, but yeah, they're not. If it's not officially licensed, and if it was, like the series has so much copyrighted music and characters and ideas and plot lines and quotes and stuff that I think I'd probably be fine. Not only beyond what I've got, but like a billion times over. So I think so. It's all under fan film. It's all under fair use. But if we were to say an official organization like the BBC or Universal picked it up for a proper series or film, then we would have to get rid of all of the copyrighted people outside of what they would have owned. And even then, there might even be some legal issues. So it would all have to be completely original characters. Fortunately, we do have enough of those in later episodes to kind of fit that thing. So yeah, if I ever pitch this to the BBC, Universal, or anybody else, it would have to be all start from not entirely from scratch, but quite off most of it from scratch. Like change a lot would have to be changed for someone to broadcast this. But since this is amateur YouTube, technically fan film stuff under fair use, then it should be fine. I mean, no one's gotten upset about anything in the last 10 years apart from copyrighted music getting claimed, which is why episode 18 got was blocked for the longest time. But yeah, going back to Lone Agent. Initially I wasn't actually planning to upload it or any of the other films we'd done at school on YouTube. I hadn't even thought about doing YouTube myself until August 2015, when two things happened. First of all, I started college, Hartford Regional College, for a level 2 media course. I would then do a level 3 one for the following 2 years after that. And in September 2015, we were encouraged to make YouTube channel or Vimeo or Dailymotion account. Was it Dailymotion? It might just be YouTube or Vimeo or something else. To show our films and short projects and other things to upload them there. And and the second thing was that Matt Moyer of the Universals on the Five Who fans and was Wanderings forum suggested to me that maybe we can make our own Doctor Who fan YouTube channel, which after I was on board with that, and also after starting the YouTube channel, this YouTube channel for college initially, and then later also uploading older films I made at school and some other stuff like my summer stop motion project, Planet of Discovery, that I did with my sister, and then later some of my own other little bit of stuff, and then later in summer 2016 reviews, and I think I've also did some other kind of videos for my own channel, like discussions, like and reactions and stuff. Um, but yeah, so that all started the YouTube channel in September 15, which and then Lone Agent was one of the films that I uploaded to that as I was uploading the school films on there, or school shorts and edits that we did in class onto that. And Lone Agent was released as, like, I think it was the fourth one I put up there. And then October 2015 would have been the slight re-edit, which is the now current version of the film. And then also, because of all of that, is why me and Matt decided to make the Hooniversals, which technically the idea in all of the proposals were um, that's all 10 years now. It is a bit disappointing that we didn't start it in time for Doctor Who Series 9, which started airing the day after I uploaded Lone Agent came out originally on September 22nd. Doctor Who Series 9 started. And I think episode 5 must have aired the day of when the re-uploaded version of Lone Agent came out on the 18th. I think it was episode 5. Magician's Apprentice came out on September 22nd, 29th, which is familiar. Monday was the 1st, 6, 13, 18. Yeah, I think it must have been The Girl Who Died, which is an episode I do like. I do think it is the weakest Jamie Matheson episode of his 4 across the Capaldi era, but I do think it is a good one. One of the ones from Series 9 I like more, along with the Lake 2 parts that preceded it. Again, now I slightly regret that we didn't push to start it for Series 9 and we waited until January 2016 to get started originally. And that's a whole other story. We can discuss Universal's history for the 10th anniversary of that channel in July. Well, July for the modern version. 10 years because of the whole what happened for the original version. But yeah, slightly disappointing that we didn't start it for Series 9 in retrospective. Well, anyway, so already mentioned a bit more about the production history for episode 1, about all of that Lone Agent. Surprisingly, it did get a good reception. I say surprisingly from modern perspective, it got a good reception at the time. Jacob C. Rose, of all people, I want to say big name in the Doctor Who fan film community. Fairly big name, let's say. I mean, he's well known for, but I don't know if he's like a super well known fan film community or fan audio community name. I'm going to say he's a fairly well known. Hi, if you're watching, by the way, Jacob. Or we'll watch this later. So in the Doctor Who fan film community, he's at least a fairly well known name, both for his own stuff and also Pope's Icon Productions, and then also his involvement with other people, including mine later on down the line, as it happened. Most notably, as well as outside of his own stuff and Pope's Icon Productions, working with Phoenix Smith, another fairly well known name in the Doctor Who fan film community and also the fandom community, thanks to 5 Who fans, as well as his own stuff. I think he's probably a more well-known person, and also he's been in some of my stuff too, and I've been in some of his stuff. Excellent. I was even the villain in Shedder 3 earlier this year, which we filmed last March. But yeah, so Jacob C. Rose, of all people, noticed the video. He noticed the film, and he said Agent Nick was a hero, a modern hero or something like this. The comment's still there. You can go check up the comment. He's like, I was a hero for the age, or modern hero, the hero we needed, or something. But he noticed that, and he also noticed Series 1 when we get to that. But yeah, it was great having him notice it, and it was also thanks to that and his Series 1 noticing that is when why I asked him to be in Series 2 and then later some in later episodes or episodes, but more on that. So yeah, so that was great. Now Lone Agent initially didn't lead to a new series or next episode straight away, but I did do sort of a audio sequel to that with The Good, the Bad, and the Earth Agent, which ended up being the first of the Ultimate Doctor fan audios that I released. Did four from October 2015 to January 16, and then another three in late 17, and three in was it 17 to 18 actually, and then some in spring 2018, and then I got the idea to kind of do my own kind of fan universe audio YouTube series, which is the Nicholas Payne audio channel, where I've got all of these multiple doctors doing the plan was to do an audiobook every month for every so often, where I would do a couple stories for a doctor and then do another couple stories for another doctor and so on. A bit like the Aimless Wandering stuff, a bit like PZB, Post Productions, Overtime Audios, and so on. My problem is I was doing everything solo, apart from Matt Moyer's lines, his general presence in the Origins Agent Nick audio. I was going solo. I was writing, recording, and editing on my own. And I won't lie, the scripts aren't always the best. Some of them are right, but some of them aren't great. So yeah, I think I kind of burned myself out after the initial launch, where as well as re-uploading and with some minor edits, the older episodes, two of them ended up being merged together as it was a two-parter, and then I did a new one to fill in the gap, and then a couple of other ones for some other new doctors, like the Fantastic Doctor, the Spy Doctor, Mysterious Doctor, Earliest Doctor. Once we got this started, then I kind of got burnt out just before we hit the 55th anniversary of Doctor Who. So, yeah. But it did have some more stuff. I did do a bit of a push late 2020, early 21 to get a bit more done, and then again, and also for Year of the Master when that started, and then again earlier this year. But yeah, it's a few pushes, nothing too much, but I'll still keep it going when I can. But yeah, Good, Bad, and Earth Agent was initially the sequel to Lone Agent, but it ended up being the original version ended up being the start of the Ultimate Doctor audios, and then the re-upload. It was the first on the audio channel. It would become the first one of a whole new universe, whole new expanded universe, which includes Earth Agents. When it came to that, and the Ultimate Doctor would become one of, well, now it's 17, although Doctors 1 to 13 and 15 to 16 appear in episode 18. The 15 and 16 is supposed to be 14 and 15, but I added one more because I didn't think, because I was using the title images of the title logos and music from each Doctor up to number 8 in order, but when you get to number 9, it's the War Doctor, so then it's out of sync by one Doctor. So because the number 14 would be using the 13th Doctor ones, and they're the Diamond Doctor, I thought it'd be better just to put one more Doctor in there, and then push the Diamond Doctor and Pinky Doctor to be 15, 16, but they'd have 14 and 15th Doctor's music and the logos from the TV series. What I'm going to do with a Fugitive Doctor equivalent, I have no ideas. But whether Big Finish created their own audio theme for her, or they're just using the 1st or 13th Doctor ones, I'm not sure. But I have made this. I have made one in preparation for the upcoming 16th Doctor, if that goes ahead. And if it doesn't, okay, well, now I know what I'm doing by Fugitive Doctor equivalent. Yeah, numbers 14 and 17 got mentioned in probably, I think it's the most recent audio, and they've been written into the script of the next episode being mentioned. Yeah. Anyway, some good Heineken. So I've been chatting quite a bit of time about episode 1, The Lone Agent, its production history, and the after war math of that with YouTube, Universal's Nicholas Payne Audio, and the Ultimate Universe Audios, and people like Jacob C. Rose and Phoenix Smith noticing and getting people at college. I would meet Ollie Pajak, Tom Steele, Simon Werland, etc. at uni, and they were doing their own stuff, and then through them, people like Ollie Newton and Matt Burns, and loads of other people that I've now work with both on my own stuff and for other people's projects. And at uni, the same with people like Tom Elgie, um, where I'd work on their projects and they'd work on mine, both in uni and out of uni, in college, out of college, etc. And also even some people from school, like Dan Middleton, um, went to the same college, so he was in some of my uni college stuff. And even later on, managed to get back. We got back in touch with him about her being in a later one, and yeah, and also uh, co-filmed some shows that he was in as well. So that's good. So we've got a bit of a loose, like a loose net with a tight net in the middle of people um, who are involved with each other, doing their like other people, each other's things, or helping out, etc., or just knowing them. Um, so that's all great. That's so when we came to series one, now, like with the Planet Discovery short stop motion project, and also after doing the Class fan film, the first one, um, which was also supposed to have become a irregular series, but only ended up making two of those. The first one for the Five Food Fans competition, the second one as a follow up sequel, but it never ended up going any further beyond the second one, which is a shame. It would have been a fun series to do on now and again. But though after rough round finishing the level 2 year of college and then going on to summer break before starting the level 3 first year, um, like with Planner, I decided to do something to fill in the time during some of the summer holidays, and I decided it was time to make a sequel to Lone Agent, or specifically, it was time to make the first series of episodes. Lone Agent would be the pilot movie to what would now become an online series that was hopefully going to have a series of 3 episodes every year for the foreseeable future. Um, that was the hope at the time. So, series one, my idea came from I decided to create these creatures called the Miracles, inspired by the title of Torchwood Series 4, Miracle Day. But probably nothing else. I didn't even get around to watching it until 2020. So, but uh, but using the title of Miracle, so I created the Miracle Trilogy, as it was at the time: Miracle Hour, Miracle War, and Miracle Moment. Um, that was series one, which are now episodes 2, 3, and 4 overall. Overall, for the whole thing. So series one was basically filmed over 4 days, I think, maybe five. Well, I think instead of doing an episode a day, I think I did characters for all 3 episodes over 3 days. Fourth day, 4 pickups, and maybe the stuff with the doctor. Mr. Gregory might have been on a later day. Maybe the Samson Gregory's were done on one of the other days as well. But yeah. So I only did about 4 days worth of filming for the whole thing, for the whole series, which compared to now is crazy because even compared to the first episode, because that one was only like done once or twice a week, each week or nearly every week, um, for a couple like 2 hours, maybe three, maybe one. Yeah, but in terms of having a couple of hours on for couple of hours a day for 4 days to film all of that. And I think it was all done the week before it went out. And then once it was all together, it went out over the course of a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, with an omnibus on a Tuesday. I'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, considering all of that, like a really quick turnaround, good, quick filming, quick editing, only a couple of days to do it, and it was out like only a few days later. Um, yeah, and it probably didn't take that very long to write either, just before that, but even then, um, yeah. So, that's something that would not happen today. I mean, it could if I restricted myself to the like confines of um house. maybe one or two other locations. Um, well, then again, there's more people at home than there was back in 2016, or even pre-COVID. So um, it might be a bit more tricky on that sense. But if like got the house free for a few hours each day, then yeah, maybe we could have done something, could do something like it again. But yeah, it probably won't happen again, especially if like the stories are slightly stronger now than they were in series one. Yeah, the stories needed a bit of time to kind of get better, because the Miracle trilogy, whilst there's a bit more of a plot to Lone Agent, yeah, it's not the strongest one. I think, yeah, if it was done as one full episode, 120 odd minute episode, it might, was it 20 minutes? About 20 minutes into 22, I think it is for the omnibus. So around 122-ish minute episode, it probably would have been fine. Because it's three episodes, two of them about 5 to 6 minutes, and the other one is about 9 to 10. Um, it does feel a little bit less good earlier on, but then it picks up a bit at the end of the series. And it's actually Jacob C. Rose watching it and then commenting, saying that it would probably have worked better as one story, and suggested an omnibus edit to show how a full length version of the story would have gone, to follow his suggestion up with that. And I think he's probably right. I think it probably would have worked as a single part, um, especially since after 2019, episodes would start getting longer. Series two and three, the episodes are generally about 14 to 22 minutes in length, typically, not all of them. Um, and then after the 2019 episodes, well, episode 15 is about quarter of an hour, but after that, they're getting longer. In fact, now they're roughly an hour and 10 minutes, apart from the Agent Nick Begins episode, but that was designed to be a short one, short and quick one. That was also actually that one was filmed in about 2 or 3 days as well. Actually, with the modern style. So there you go. There's an episode that I've done in a couple of days, um, on a short notice. That was done similar, um, similar way to series one, but more modern, up to date. Um, I hope I don't start slurring my words. Half an hour in, we were only up to series one. Um, so yeah, on retrospective, maybe the Miracle story should have been one episode, 20 minutes. I wanted to do a 3 episode story, so the episodes only ended. Oh, sorry for the shaky. The episodes ended only. That's the slurring. Uh, Drunk slurring, not the rude word ones. The episodes only ended up being 5, 6, 10 minutes each. But the time length thing would improve for the most part for the next few episodes coming in the next few series. But yeah, series one I think still went down very well. Um, it was still well received. So summer 2017, it's time for series two. Oh, but first, actually, episode 5, Exchange, was done for the end of level 3 year one film project, because end of each year we did a final project. Um, the level 2 one was the Effects of Wood short film, which is sort of an anti-drug, anti-smoking, warning drama film. A little bit of comedy in there, so not too serious. Um, and in a way, it's sort of set in a parallel universe as well, because it features a fictional drug and it mentions references to things that we didn't have in our actual universe. Um, so maybe that counts as an entry in the Ultimate Universe. The third year one, level 3, year 2 one, was Stop, Look, Listen, which was the rail safety drama short film. But the second one I did, which was level 3, year one, was Earth Agents episode 5 Exchange, which initially this was the 2017 spring special or summer special because it released in June. And I think I turned 18 around the time I did this one because I was 14 to 16 when making Lone Agent. The last thing I shot for that was on my 16th birthday. And then 17 for series one. And there, so this time around I was 17 into 18 making Exchange, and then the next three would be I was 18. So this is the transition from childhood to adulthood. Yeah, technically still age for both counts, but still. But yeah, Exchange. Yeah, that went well, and that was the first project to include Ollie Pajak and Ollie Stafford into Earth Agents. Maybe even into my own projects. No, Ollie Pajak appears in FX of Wood. Anyway, so yeah, Exchange again. There wasn't really a huge amount of story, but this one was kind of more of a following up from a line at the